Guys, let's get right after it. We're going to talk about the Miami Heat. 22 straight wins for Miami. They beat the Raptors last night, 108-91. It is tied for the second longest single-season win streak in NBA history and 11 games behind the Lakers' all-time record of 33 straight. So the question is this: will the Heat reach the Lakers' record of 33 straight wins? Ryan, we will start with you.
I don't see it happen now, just because it's so difficult. And when you look at a streak and you think about all the things that have to go your way, you can be a great team like Miami is, but you also have to be unbelievably lucky. And they've been lucky a few times. It's just so hard to think that that's going to continue for 11 more games. They probably get tonight against Boston, but something Miami's done in these 2 years with this group is they really play around with inferior opponents a lot. And other great teams, I think, have just smashed everybody throughout their great seasons. This team will take 3 quarters off, get down, and they've been able to come back. It hasn't bitten them against Orlando or the Sixers or that overtime game with Sacramento. So I don't think because of that they get to 33.
The streak will end tonight. But it won't be the Heat streak. It'll be the Boston Celtics streak. They've won 10 in a row at home in the regular season against the Miami Heat. But when it comes to the 33-game winning streak, I think they will actually get 33 in a row. I think, as a matter of fact, they'll get 34. I think they will win 34 in a row, as a matter of fact, or even beyond. Because when you look at their schedule, I think they'll win against Boston tonight because Kevin Garnett still in question, whether he's going to play or not. I think Miami is motivated for these type of games. They get up for the Boston Celtics. They get up for the Indiana Pacers. They get up for the New York Knicks. Like you said, they've had issues against some of the inferior teams, but in the end, LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, Chris Bosh step up when it matters and they get the job done. And if you look at their schedule over the next couple of games, at Cleveland, Detroit, Charlotte, Orlando, at Chicago, a team that's not playing well right now.
See, I don't like that, though. Because those teams are so bad, I think they roll in going, all right, we got up for Oklahoma City. We got up for the Pacers.
But see, here's the difference right now. It's because they're within reach. I think when they were at 15, 20 games, it wasn't within reach. And people were talking about, okay, how far can it go? But now that you can see 33, I think that's extra motivation for this Heat team. And I think they play their best ball when they're motivated and when they're inspired.
Antonio, jump in.
I'm going to sit right here in the middle because I feel like, yes, they have issues with those teams, but because of this streak, they're coming in a little bit more focused.
Exactly.
But I think the biggest thing that they have to realize is as they get to this streak, those teams that don't have an opportunity to get into the playoffs, these teams are going to be trying to knock them off that pedestal. The one thing when I look at their schedule, they have to go at Chicago, at San Antonio. Those are the games that I feel like are going to be very tough games. Therefore, they don't get to 33. They get to somewhere around 28, 29, maybe 30 when it comes to the streak.
So you also say no.
I say no, not 33. Not 33 for
I
sure.
think the Heat has a chance right now to make history. I know it's not more important than winning a championship, but I think for this team with LeBron James, and it's not even just about LeBron stepping up. You got Dwyane Wade, you got Chris Bosh, you got guys like Chris Birdman Anderson that's stepping up in key moments at this for this team at this junction in their season.
We talked about it earlier. They're going to play better basketball getting towards April. That they have to have good momentum going in. They're executing. They're doing the things they need to. But I'm concerned with what you said. They don't play great basketball in the third quarter. And then you can't come and just turn it on in the fourth quarter against good teams, especially like San Antonio or the Chicago Bulls. So I'm a little bit worried when you come to play
the only game I see on this schedule that does concern me, once they get past Boston tonight, and once again, it depends on what Kevin Garnett does.
Yeah, I was up in Boston on Saturday, and there was a lot of thought that maybe he was just going to sit out that Bobcats game because it was the Bobcats, because the Celtics historically have gotten up for these games. As you pointed out, we saw it against Oklahoma City, we saw it against the Pacers, we've seen it against the Knicks, where the Heat have said, okay, we just want to remind everybody, the Pacers beat us a couple times earlier, that's not a problem. But the San Antonio game that you point out, another thing you said too, sustainability, Battier's hitting almost half of his threes during their wins. I don't know how. I mean, I know he's open all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't imagine that that's going to go on for another.
He did it during the NBA Finals last year,
but
he's
also
did it during the playoffs. I mean, they got guys that can step. Like I said, any given night, they got different guys who are stepping up for this team. For a stretch, it was LeBron James, 30-plus points, shooting better than 60% from the field. That was a 6-game stretch in which he broke an NBA record. And then he kind of hit a little bit of a lull. And one person who's not getting enough credit for what the Miami Heat are doing this season has been the reemergence of Dwyane Wade. He is finally healthy. he finally realizes that, hey, you know what? We have an opportunity to not only repeat as NBA champions, but we can go in and make history, and this will be a team that you will remember 30 years down the line, because I don't see anybody surpassing that if they get to 34 games.
Well, they have a chance to get number 23 tonight on ESPN, 8 Eastern in Boston. Going to be a huge game. You were there over the weekend. You know how excited they are for this upcoming game. So.
Yeah, it wasn't as big of a deal on Saturday against the Bobcats. But nice to see them get one against that.
They'll be heated because Ray Allen, once again, is also coming in. Expect Ray Allen to have a big game tonight against Boston to shut that Boston crowd up.
All right, let's go from